Jerry Brown here with Jerry Brown Travels, and today we're doing part 2 with Lori and Randy on can you retire in your 40s? And so we've been getting some replies back on our first video, and people have a lot more questions, so we thought we would create a video here and make it part 2 and try to answer some of those questions for you. Well, one of the questions that people were asking, they were quite curious with you were able to retire on a teacher's salary, and so how were you able to do that?
Well, starting off in Mississippi, it was a lot of paycheck to paycheck, but at the same time, we still put away, we still saved, we still were trying to put away as much as we could. No matter what we made, we always took my grandfather's advice, pay yourself first.
Okay.
So we invested, you know, we put money away for our retirement, we put money away for our son's college fund, and we just kept doing that no matter what. Now, when the opportunity for us to take some teaching jobs overseas that were more lucrative than where we were, we took that option.
Okay.
We chose to do that. Now, that might be hard for some people because, you know, you're leaving your family or where you're from, and that's a difficult decision, but that's the decision we made, and that decision allowed us to do what we're doing now.
And how were you able to retire? This is really important because school teachers typically in the United States don't make an adequate salary to retire in their 40s. Now, how long were you teaching in the United States? Mississippi, right?
Yeah, I was teaching, well, when we first met, I was still in college and she was already teaching, but I ended up teaching 5 years. And
I taught 11 years in the Mississippi
Okay.
public school.
Now, one of the things that I'm not quite clear on is your idea of making more money and transitioning, you know, in your lifestyle. And now it sounds like you were making decisions from 55 to retire more towards in your 40s.
Well, all of that came about is, you know, while we were working in Mississippi, we always had that, you know, that wanderlust. We always wanted to travel, and we could do a little bit, but we didn't do a lot. And when we had the opportunity to take some jobs overseas, we jumped on it. And we got a chance to move to Japan and work as teachers over there. And that was where we really amped up our savings.
Okay.
Was one, because, you know, with some of the benefits that we were allocated there in Japan and the salary we were making, we just really started putting it away.
Okay.
Because our vision to still retire at 55 was there, we just didn't realize we were going to be able to do it sooner. At the time.
I see. Okay. So it sounds like in Japan you made more money yourself.
Of course. Oh, yeah.
Yes.
Almost double practically.
I did. I doubled my Mississippi teaching salary, and then we had benefits such as housing that was provided for us. So anything that we would have put toward rent, we put right into our savings and investments.
Now, are you getting a pension from that? Because a lot of people, especially at your age, you know what I mean, they're able to get a pension and they're not collecting Social Security. That, you know, subsidizes their living. But what about you guys? Is that giving you a pension?
Not yet. We did qualify for a pension, but we can't collect that till 62.
Okay.
And we knew this, if we wanted to retire early, we knew going in that we were going to have to save enough to get us between the time we retired and that official retirement age.
That gap.
That gap.
Yeah.
So when we started investing, you know, we made sure we had taxable investments, stuff that we knew we could take out without penalty. And so that's where we had to make sure we were saving that amount of money for that.
Okay.
And that's what we're on now.
Okay. Saved an adequate amount of money to fund your retirement as you're living right now,
Correct.
the lifestyle
Correct.
you are right now. Okay.
That's correct.
Now, how did you determine how much money you needed to save, you know what I mean, to have that lifestyle of $72 a day to live, you know, before you get to the time where you can collect your pension or Social Security? Because that's a few years away.
Right.
Give us some idea, you know, how you came about that.
Well, when we always talked with our financial advisor, and we would always come back and rehash, you know, how much money do you need in today's dollars to retire, and we always came
Because
up.
we tracked expenses, so we could see that's about what we were spending per month on
Okay.
everything.
And that's
1,000.
key, I think, for your viewers to know that if they take a simple Excel spreadsheet and budget, you know, I have a bunch of different categories, and we put down every single, anytime we take the bus or we coffee or whatever it is goes into that spreadsheet, and we know exactly what we spent on meals eating out, what we spent on groceries, what we spent on
Transportation,
internet, gas,
entertainment,
electricity, water, whatever it
Yeah.
is. We know exactly to the dot. So that gives you a good idea of what you're spending and where you can cut costs.
Right. It's just what you feel you need is enough per
We
month.
knew we wanted to live and travel overseas. Again, in a place like Ajijic, where you can easily do it on $1,500 a month, and other places around the world that's similar, it's very easy to do.
Yes.
Okay. So a lot of our viewers are in their 30s and they're projecting doing what you guys have done, retire. They want to retire in their 40s also. Now, what advice did you give your son personally? You know, what he needs to do to accomplish what you guys have accomplished?
Well, I kind of passed on the same information I got from my grandfather, and I said, hey, whatever you make, let's try to save a little bit. So when he was working in high school a little bit, and he was working those little odd jobs, you know, I said, hey, go to one of those no-load brokerage firms, and I said, open up an account, and just start putting monthly, systematically. I said, have it taken out of your check systematically.
Don't even see it. You
You
don't
don't
miss
see
it.
it, you don't miss it, it's taken out. And I said, when you get a raise or something like that, that raise goes into the savings. It doesn't go into your pocket to go have more money to go out. And I said, when you get a better job, I said, you keep increasing that saving into that account. And I said, compounded interest over time,
It's amazing.
it's really something to see.
Yeah.
And him starting at age 23, he has to save less than we did when we started later in our 20s.
Oh, yeah.
So the sooner you start, the better, but start someplace.
Okay, Randy and Lori, here's the question: is a couple or a single person has saved their money, and but they realize they can't do it in a place like Palm Springs or Honolulu or anything like that. What experience do you have? What advice? What can you tell
Our
them?
biggest factor that we were able to go so early at our age was because we knew we wanted to live overseas, and we knew from other people we had followed on blogs or met that we knew we could live in places so much cheaper. So, you know, if you say, you know, we've been living on $72 a day, which is, you know, what is that, around $24,000 a year. That's not too bad to be living overseas, and look at the place that we're in. It's pretty spectacular.
Okay. Well, a lot of people are. I have friends that are in Cambodia and they're living on $700 a month too. So they've chosen a country where it meets these guys are on pensions, and so they are only getting about that much, or maybe about $1,000 a month. So they've chosen countries that will they can live
Accommodate that
yeah.
budget. Sure.
Yeah, because we're living probably over what a lot of people, you know, people say, hey, we're just living on Social Security, which you can do in a lot of these countries.
Yeah.
But, you know, of course we got two people, and maybe we want a few more things, or we want to travel a little bit more, so we have to spend a little bit more money. But, you know, another thing that we did is we sold everything we own.
Okay. So you're debt free.
We are debt free,
Debt-free, car-free,
house free.
Okay.
We own nothing anywhere except what fits in our carry-on bags. Each have a carry-on and a backpack.
Okay.
That's the extreme. Now, a lot of people are saying, well, I can't do that.
Right.
I have these collectibles, or I have this, I just can't get rid of it. We understand.
That's a choice.
That's a choice.
We get it.
So,
You've been married 25 years and now you're on this adventure of world travel and stuff like that. Okay. Now, how do you spend your time? You know, you definitely, I'd imagine you're not spending together all the time. How do you divide up your time, you know, so you have personal things and different goals or different interest?
Well, that's very true. 25 years we've been together, and we have the same interests, of course. We enjoy good food, and we enjoy traveling and meeting new people, but we also are very different, and so we find our own things to do. Because we live in kind of tight quarters, we live in one-bedroom apartments, we need our own time and space to have our own friends and our own thoughts. So luckily, for me, I find a Zumba class or some kind of hobby or volunteering, and I can go off and do my thing, and Randy has his things that he'll talk about, and then we can get together in the evening and talk about those things together.
just like Lori said, you know, I guess she needs that girl time that she can have with her friends, and I need the guy time. So I play softball here and in the hiking club and different things like that. So you can find there's always tons of activities you can do when you're traveling. And then of course the big thing that we have together is the traveling and seeing new places and meeting new people and exploring new culture.
Okay. Well, and it really sounds like you're best friends too.
Pretty much, yeah.
Yeah, we make each other laugh still after. I still light up when he comes in the room, and I feel like he does as well. And that's a huge. We feel lucky that after all these years, we're still going forward on the same page.
Right.
Yeah.
So we feel it's a lot of it is luck too.
And that's been the biggest thing. I think what we've done is we've been on that same page, as she said, all the way through. We had the same goal in mind, and then doing the same thing. So, and that's tough, I think, for a lot of couples to be on that same exact page, because maybe you have one that wants to stay close to grandkids, and the other one wants to travel, and that could be complications.
Some compromise,
Yeah.
and we still in tight quarters. We still have our disagreements, and we have to communicate and compromise. And neither of us gets exactly what we want all the time, but it's worked out, and we're quite happy.
I can see that. You're a great couple.
We're going to have to. It's lunchtime though, right?
Almost.
Let's think about where we want to go for lunch.
Okay, that'll be fun.
Right.
Again, this is a great time together. I really appreciate that.
Us too.
And
Thanks.
we're answering questions. People want to know more about retirement. They want to know, how they can do it. They're serious about it. And
Please check out our blog, and we'll, keep the questions coming. And we have our email contact on there, and we'll happy to answer any of your questions.
yeah, that's cool. Okay, let's go have lunch.
All right.
Let's go eat.
Off we go.
Well, how about subscribing? It's free. All you need to do is press right over here. You see my face? Just press on that, and that'll automatically subscribe for you. You'll get a free video every week and give you an update on other videos that we'll have. Also, if you want to see more videos, check out this over here and touch on those, and we'll show you some more videos on how to travel and how to live cheap and enjoy a quality life. Jerry Brown?
Lori Brown.
Bye.
Bye-bye.
And I've got, but I haven't quite got where I want, what I can.
Well, if you want to move, you got to do it now.
Okay, let's shoot this one. Maybe we can move it. I can cut all this. Okay.